Welcome to the Clean Slate Podcast, brought to you by clearrank.com.
Always here to help you navigate the world of online trading, especially Forex.
We're focusing on tastyfx today, a Forex-only broker. They've been making some noise, especially in the U.S.
Yeah, they're all about speed, and transparency. Keeping those costs down sounds pretty good.
It does, but like with any broker, gotta weigh the good and the bad.
Exactly, and that's where our clear score comes in. We've broken down tastyfx, across those key areas: regulation, fees, platforms, all of it.
Let's start with the most important thing, regulation and safety. Gotta have that solid foundation.
For sure, tastyfx gets a 4.7 out of 5 there, pretty solid.
That's good to hear, especially if you're prioritizing security.
Absolutely. They've got both the CFTC and NFA regulating them. That's top tier in the U.S.
So we're talking strict standards, proper oversight. That's a big plus.
Yeah, and they have that negative balance protection. Can't lose more than you put in.
That safety net, that's always nice to have.
True, but one thing they don't have is investor compensation, like SIPC coverage.
Interesting. So something to keep in mind, strong on the regulation side, but missing that extra layer.
Right. Now let's get to the part everyone wants to know about, the cost.
Commissions, spreads, fees, that's where things can get a little tricky.
tastyfx scores 4.5 out of 5 here. Pretty balanced, I'd say.
They advertise zero commissions, which always grabs attention.
Of course. Yeah, remember, those costs are built into the spreads. That's how it usually works.
So the real question is, how do those spreads stack up?
Well, for the major pairs, like your URUD, they're pretty tight, starting at 0.8 pips.
That's actually better than average. That's good news for traders.
But gotta remember, spreads can change, especially when the market gets volatile.
When things get crazy, those costs can jump up, right?
For sure. And if you're looking at those exotic pairs, USD-ZIR, for example, much wider spreads.
We're talking over 100 pips sometimes. That can really eat into your profits.
Yeah, definitely factor that in if you're thinking about those less common pairs.
On the positive side, though, they do have that cashback program, up to 15% on spreads for active traders.
Yeah, that's a unique feature. Could offset some of those costs if you're trading frequently.
So the pricing, it's got its pros and cons, really depends on your trading style.
Now let's talk about getting your money in and out. Always important.
Funding options, gotta be easy, gotta be flexible.
tastyfx keeps it pretty simple. 4.5 out of 5 in this category.
They offer ACH, debit card, wire transfers, all fee-free.
That's convenient, especially if you like things straightforward.
But one thing they don't have is e-wallets or crypto funding.
True, that could be limiting for some, especially with those methods becoming more popular.
Yeah, especially with those digital payment options. A lot of people use those.
And that minimum deposit, it's $250, a bit higher than some others out there.
Okay, so convenient methods free of charge,
Yeah.
but maybe not for everyone.
All right, let's move on to the platforms, the tools of the trade.
This is where it gets interesting. tastyfx. They don't have their own platform.
They do well here, though. 4.6 out of 5. Good selection of popular choices.
They got TradingView, MT4, even Pro Real-Time. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Pro Real-Time, you don't see that a lot with U.S. brokers. Big plus for experienced traders.
What is it about Pro Real-Time that those seasoned Forex traders really like?
It's all about those advanced charts, deep market analysis, all the customization options.
So those traders who are all about technical analysis, they need that detailed market data. This is for them.
Absolutely. And tastyfx even throws in free VPS hosting for MT4.
That's a great perk, especially for those who are running those automated strategies 24/7.
Keeps that latency low, consistent execution, essential for algo trading.
But they don't have MT5 or C traders.
True, that could be a downside. Some traders prefer those, especially for algorithmic trading.
So they cater to a good range of needs with their platforms, but not without a few limitations.
Now let's talk customer support. Can make or break the experience.
Reliability, responsiveness. That's key, especially when you need help fast.
tastyfx scores a 4.3 out of 5 for support. Pretty decent.
They've got 245 support, phone, and email. Pretty standard these days.
Response times are usually good, and the agents seem to know their stuff.
But they don't have live chat, which is becoming more and more common.
Yeah, people expect that instant help these days, especially for urgent issues.
And while their email support is usually pretty quick, there can still be those delays,
Right.
which is annoying when you need an answer right away.
Right, and no dedicated account managers either, which some traders might miss.
Yeah, especially if you're used to having that personal contact for questions, for guidance.
So you can get help when you need it, but maybe not as personalized or as instant as some would like.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about what you can actually trade on tastyfx.
This is a big one, and this is where we see a limitation. They're Forex only.
No stocks, no crypto, nothing else, just currency pairs.
They do have over 80 currency pairs, though, so a good selection for Forex traders.
But if you're looking to diversify, invest in other markets, not the right place.
They get a 3.9 out of 5 here, reflects that strong Forex offering, but no other asset classes.
So tastyfx, they're targeting a niche. Important to understand that going in.
Exactly. Now, in the next part, we'll really get into those pros and cons that ClearRank found in their review.
We'll break down the pricing, look at the platform features, what sets them apart. Okay, so we've talked about the basics with tastyfx, the regulation, the fees, the platforms they offer, and of course that Forex focus.
Right. Now, let's dig a little deeper, see what ClearRank found in their analysis, starting with those good points.
All right, what really stood out to you as a strength for tastyfx?
Well, their transparency is definitely a big one. Their fees are straightforward, no hidden stuff, and you can see their spreads clearly laid out.
That's important, especially for those who've had bad experiences with other brokers, those unclear fee structures. Not fun.
Yeah, for sure. And those spreads on the major pairs like URUSD, they're really competitive, consistently under 1 pip.
You mentioned earlier that spreads can widen when the market's volatile.
Yeah, that's true. But tastyfx's spreads, they stay pretty tight, even when things get crazy, especially compared to others.
So that's something active traders, especially scalpers, they'll like that. They rely on those small moves.
Definitely. And then there's that pro real-time platform access. That's a big differentiator for U.S. traders.
We talked about it a bit before, but why is that such a big deal?
Pro real-time, it's a powerful platform, especially for technical analysis, advanced charting tools. You've got your in-depth market data, tons of customization.
Sounds like it's really for those experienced traders who need those sophisticated tools, those extra features.
Exactly. You don't find pro real-time with most U.S. brokers. So tastyfx offering that, it opens up possibilities for those who couldn't access it before.
And they have MT4 too for those who like that for automation.
Right. Having both is great. And then there's the free VPS hosting for MT4 users.
We talked about that briefly too, but why is that so beneficial?
Well, for those who run those automated strategies, the expert advisors in MT4, you need that constant uptime, that low latency.
Because any downtime, any delays, that affects those automated trades.
Exactly. And a VPS, that's a virtual private server, it keeps your MT4 running all the time on a dedicated server, fast and stable connection.
So tastyfx offering that for free, that removes a cost barrier for those who want to use automated trading.
For sure, levels the playing field, makes those sophisticated strategies more accessible.
So those are some of the positives, but let's be real, no broker is perfect. Where did tastyfx fall short?
Well, like we discussed, the lack of asset diversity, that's a big one. If you're looking beyond Forex, tastyfx isn't the place.
Right, no stocks, no crypto, no commodities, just currency pairs. That's a deal breaker for some, especially those who want a diverse portfolio.
Absolutely. And while those spreads on major pairs are tight, they can get wide on those exotic pairs, sometimes over 100 pips.
That's a lot to consider, especially if you're drawn to those less traded pairs.
You have to factor that into your strategy, your risk management, if you're trading those exotic markets.
And while they have 245 support by phone and email, which is usually pretty responsive, that lack of live chat, that could be a downside.
Yeah, these days people expect instant communication, especially when something's urgent.
And even though email support is usually fast, there can still be delays, which is frustrating when you need an answer now.
Right, and no dedicated account managers, some might miss that.
Yeah, especially if you're used to having that direct contact, someone for questions, for advice.
So tastyfx, they do well in some areas, but there are definitely some things they could improve to make the experience better overall.
So a mixed bag, like with most brokers. Strong on transparency, pricing, platform choices, but limited in asset diversity and some support features.
Exactly. It comes down to what you need as a trader, what's important to you. If you're in the U.S., focused on Forex, happy with MT4 or Pro Real-Time, and you value transparency and low costs, tastyfx could work.
But if you want that diversification, or you need more personalized support, a dedicated account manager, you might want to look elsewhere.
And that's where ClearRank's analysis and the ClearScore help. They make it easier to navigate those choices, make informed decisions.
So we've gone into the details of tastyfx, the good and the bad. Now let's zoom out, look at the bigger picture. So we've really taken tastyfx apart here. A broker that's chosen to specialize, just Forex, that's their thing.
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting point. These days, it seems like everyone's trying to offer everything all in one place.
Right, you see those platforms, stocks, crypto, options, futures, the whole shebang, all together.
But tastyfx, they're doing something different. They're betting that by focusing just on Forex, they can create a better experience, more tailored for that specific trader.
It's kind of like, I don't know, choosing a doctor. If you've got a specific problem, you want the specialist, the one who's dedicated to that one thing.
Exactly. That's tastyfx, the Forex specialists. They're all about meeting these unique needs, the demands of
hmm
currency traders.
So by concentrating, their resources, their expertise all on Forex, they can really fine-tune everything, the platform, the speed, even the customer support, all for that specific market.
Makes sense. It's depth over breadth. Be really good at one thing instead of trying to do it all and maybe not being great at any of it.
Right. And for some traders, that's appealing. They don't want all the clutter, all those features they'll never use.
Especially those who know Forex. They know what they want. They know what they need. They don't need all the extras.
Now, that's not to say that the all-in-one approach is bad. It has its place, for sure, like for those who want to diversify, invest in different things.
Yeah, or those who are just starting out, they want to explore, try different markets before they settle on one.
It fits a different need, a different style. But I think as things change, as online trading evolves, we'll see both models. They'll both do well.
It's not about which one's better. It's about finding the right fit. What are your needs, your risk tolerance, your goals?
Couldn't agree more. No one-size-fits-all solution in trading. Got to do your research, weigh the pros and cons, choose what works for you.
And that's where clearing comes in, the clear score, those detailed broker reviews. That's what helps traders make those smart decisions.
We cut through the noise, the marketing, we give you the data, the analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, so you could choose what aligns with your priorities.
So if you're interested in tastyfx, after hearing all this, go to clearrank.com, check out the full review.
You'll find everything, their platform, pricing, features, user reviews, comparisons to other brokers, all the information you need to make a decision.
And as we wrap up here, looking at tastyfx makes you think, what's the future of online trading? Will we see even more specialization? What new innovations are coming?
It's an interesting question. What do you think is next? Share your thoughts with us on social media. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining us on the Clean Slate podcast. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of online trading.
Until then, trade smart, stay informed, and happy trading.